shattered, my freedom chained, the result of a mad referendum in which I wasn't allowed a voice. I feel rather lost. I no longer belong. This is Mariano from Spain. But this is also how many EU27 citizens in the UK and Brits in Europe have been feeling since the referendum. A referendum in which most of us were denied a vote. A referendum in which we were promised that nothing would change. But instead, everything has changed, and we have become commodities for the British government. Our lives have been plunged into a state of horrible and prolonged limbo, and our rights diminished. This is why our books In Limbo and In Limbo 2 exist, to tell what the 5 million have been through. EU citizens in the UK have been forced to apply to stay in their own home, a home sometimes of 50 or 60 years. How fair, how easy has this been for us? Lucia, a 90-year-old woman who moved to London after the war, now suffering from dementia, applied for settled status, was refused and asked to submit more documents. Luckily, her son-in-law did everything for her. Imagine now if this woman were alone. Imagine how many old people are in her situation and have no idea that they need to apply. Imagine having been invited by the British government after the war to come and work in the UK and now being told you need to prove that you can stay. Isn't it humiliating? Many people are worried that they won't have enough documents and have sleepless nights, like Ellie, 77, who wrote, "I haven't had a good night's sleep since the referendum." Not only, on Thursday, Minister of State Brandon Lewis stated that people will be liable to deportation if they fail to apply within the deadline.
It's disgusting.
Yes, now the outrageous implication of settled status are becoming clear for us all to see. How can we feel reassured? How many will be left out? The hostile environment has never felt closer. Anne, a victim of domestic violence, told us, "I can't leave my husband as he won't give me the documents to apply." How many vulnerable women are in that situation? They said nothing would change, but a lot has changed. Many of our rights have been removed, like that of returning if we leave the country for more than 5 years. And our rights are under threat, particularly in case of no deal, as are the rights of our British friends. And when rights are under threat, discrimination becomes unavoidable. People tell us they're already struggling to rent or find jobs as landlords and employers don't want to act like immigration officers. Why can't settled status be a physical document? But discrimination comes in many forms. Alicia, a Polish girl of 12, wrote, "Before the referendum, nobody ever asked me, when are you going back to Poland? Now I hear it all the time. I was born in England and never lived anywhere else." This is what is at stake. Our sense of home and identity, as Emma said before. We were citizens at home here. Now many of us don't know anymore. Susie from Germany wrote, "Feeling in limbo is like not knowing where home is anymore, where to feel safe." I listen to countless stories every day of EU citizens and Brits abroad. And the human cost of Brexit is getting higher and higher. A Brit in Europe wrote, "Not everyone copes well with the fear of the unknown, and people are pushed to the limit. Children, women, vulnerable people, minorities, these are the ones who are suffering and will pay the highest price." With our books, we have made our voices heard, but we need to keep speaking up and fighting for our rights, the rights of us all, including yours, dear British friends, because you will lose the most precious one of all, freedom of movement.
Yeah.
The one Priti Patel seems so adamant to remove. We can't remain silent. And since we are in front of the Home Office, my concluding plea to this government is this: please listen to the suffering of many and don't allow another winter scandal to happen. You can still put this right for the sake of the 3 million citizens who have the right to return to a normal life, and the Brits abroad who will be treated according to what happens to us in 27 different countries. Thank you.